Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing great today. Doing a client session, going to share psychic wisdom, energy healing. That's what I do for a living. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to see so much about you. And so this is not a world healing session. This is actually a one-on-one. And you're open to sharing with us here on YouTube, which is so awesome of you. Thank you for introducing yourself to us and then offering an opportunity for me to navigate your energy field and for us to just experience that together. There's a lot that we can learn from each other, and we'll find out that, boy, you're going through that. Wow, I'm going through that too. Or wow, that's really familiar to me. I can relate to what you're seeing there in the spirit realm, Abby. So it's very helpful. And it's so nice to connect with you again. I'm going to read what you wrote here. Very poetic. Okay. You write, may we meet again, Abby, not at all normal, and may you help touch what parts of my soul self-being I dare not go into alone. Once you helped to share your heart with me when I was scared to feel my own. Since then, what now? How can I see me more? I don't know how you do what you do, Abby, but you do it. And most profoundly, your gifts reach the unreachable. It's true. Like, how can I not read that and just love that? It's magical. It's like a magical recipe. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Give me just a moment here because naturally when I read what you write, it's so creative, so abstract, so poetic, so beautifully written. It's also got a bit of that mystery. And you're talking about the soul self and a place you dare not go into alone. And so is it possible we could dare go somewhere where you don't have to do it alone, but I could be by your side there? We'll just go in and see what it is. You don't have to be alone, right? There's something about the heart, perhaps. Something about the third eye and higher perspective, crown chakra. To help you see yourself more clearly. There's really good energy here that you're expressing. I'm inhaling and exhaling like the real juice here. It's really positive. It's really vibrant. It's really authentic, inner childlike. It's a total holy water, man. Your goals are like a total holy water. Okay, I'm gonna put this thingy on. Okay. So I'm gonna get grounded. I gotta get in the serious mode here. That means I gotta get neutral, find the ground. And let's see what echoes back the most valuable perspective I can provide for you today. There's a big question here. It's as if I would not want to, like I would not dare to taint the exquisite value of these goals. Like the energy you're sharing is so absolutely ornate and beautiful by going into something foul. Almost like I want to be captivated by this energetic beauty that you're emitting. I want you to be captivated by it if possible. Because it could be the very ingredient you seek is truly yourself, right? And if I look into some wounded part of you, is that the most valuable ingredient of yourself for you to see that today? I see a picture of a wall, and just hear me out on this. And it's like someone took their feces and just rubbed it all over the wall. It's like, do we want to go down that road, the gross, poopy wall road? We want to look at that, smell that, rub our face in that. That's what wounds are like, right? They're ugly, yucky, gross things that we have to clean up. But wounds are also pretty beautiful too, because they turn us into beautiful people if we let them, you know? There's also beautiful scenes like, it's very Beauty and the Beast like. It's an enchanted castle. An enchanted castle comes with enchanted furniture and dishes and such. Of course, right? And you have this gorgeous, massive library and this incredibly magical ballroom. And this awkward creature of a man whose life depends on someone loving him, accepting him loving himself too. And I see scenes about the magic of this story. It seems lighthearted, but it's actually quite crude and difficult if it were real, or you could play it out in real life in some way. It would be quite a challenge to be Belle. It'd be quite a challenge to be the beast too. It'd be quite a challenge to be the objects just enshrined in this long forgotten incredible house, right? That they can't really leave. They're tied to all of this. So I'm moving all this glamorous, gorgeous, ornate energy. I just letting it go so that I can get to some root of divine truth and what is the most valuable reflection I can offer you is everything I've shared thus far. I become a very tall man like a tree, and maybe 9 feet tall. I have a very long beard that reaches the ground. It's funny because I keep making jokes about you're gonna step on your beard, you're gonna step on your beard. As this old man ignores me, he never steps on his beard either. I don't know how. And you're a child and he's holding your hand. Now this pathway is not clear, it's covered in fall leaves. The entire forest really here is covered in fall leaves, so the trees are barren, they're empty, they're asleep, I see you have stars in your eyes, and you have a star in your heart. It's interesting because a path that's covered means that the path is unclear. I mean, it means that energetically, it means that the path is unclear. But what's interesting is when all pathways are unclear, now you have a forest covered in leaves. So something about all pathways being covered in leaves, you have so much opportunity. You can go in any direction. You can decide what the path is and where the path takes you. You follow the compass within your heart. But this tall tree man, he has your hand and you're a child. And there's something complex here because, well, it's easy to trust this man. He's very wise. I see sometimes flickers like a candle that decides for a moment the flame gets weak and there's darkness, but then it comes back and the light is returned. And sometimes there's a flicker about this man where things are very vibrant and full of like visible color. I can see the crisp details, no problem. And then when that flicker happens, I know that it's important to see a shadow side of the same truth, Because you represent the child, it's not that anything has a shadow side. And that's the beautiful thing about children. It's everything is the light, everything is love, everything is opportunity. Like, what is the shadow side until you're all of a sudden, it's almost like you're digesting nails in your stomach because, oops, I just broke that and I'm going to get in trouble, It's like life is pretty open, though. Life is pretty wondrous and loving and lovable. And so you look past the flickers, you look past the shadow, you trust this man completely. And I notice the scenery is changing, the trees are disappearing, the fall leaves. It's not about the path, it's about the unknown. I know why you trust this man completely, because you can tell who he is in your heart. Without a doubt, you don't have to have a name for him. He could even change his shape and his appearance, and you would still recognize him every single time. His presence is very familiar to your heart. And he guides you from one reality into another reality, and sometimes they're very crisp and clear, and other times they could be a bit of a challenge. but he always is holding your hand. You're never alone. And where he takes you now, it's a very dark purple environment, dark, 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 dark purple. But there's also the presence of very dark brown as well, very dark brown. You could say I'm looking at black, but no, there's definitely purple and brown in there. I can just tell. And this space represents unclear. It's more unclear than the fall leaves upon the path, and that every path then is the same. And now you have access to all pathways, all opportunities. This though is very unclear. It's so shrouded in the dark. You're really going to have to trust yourself and know that this beautiful guide, this tree man, is always there, is very wise. You love that presence, this familiar energy, very loving, very kind. Now you're all alone, but you know that you're not. You're not all alone. Even if it appears that you are, you're not. And you sit on the ground of this very dark space and you start to talk to the walls. The walls bleed, but they don't bleed blood. They bleed some kind of sugary goodness. I'm telling you, it's tasty. They do bleed though. They ooze like syrup on a tree, right? It's like sap. They ooze. You're trying to understand what to do about what you're presented with. It's like you are the very medicine that you don't know how to be for what you're facing here. That this is meant to be a complex mathematical equation. You haven't become the very math yet to be able to solve it. You know what's so interesting? What's happening? I see you become an hourglass, and I see within this hourglass there is this candle light. It doesn't flicker into shadow. It just stays like a candle, just illuminating a room. At the very, very center of an hourglass, there's a little firelight. It's your heart, and your body is time, and your heart is illuminated. There's no sand in the hourglass of yourself. It's empty, but the fire is there. Sometimes when you breathe, it aches. And sometimes when you breathe, you create pressure and you break parts of this hourglass. But sometimes when you breathe, you know your structure well and you know it's solid. And sometimes you forget what you're supposed to be doing is to solve the riddle of the oozing walls. And so I ask you, have you solved the riddle yet? And I look at you and I'm sad because you've gone through a lot of phases. And the memory of those phases are scattered around, like times when this hourglass broke pieces of glass onto the ground around you. As just a child there, sitting in glass pieces. But the fire still burns in your heart. But I choose not to be sad about it. I choose to be excited. Because only when I look at the presence of a floor covered in this much glass have you been through enough to actually determine what the answer is to the riddle. And it's time to remember that you need to come back to the original question. And I see the tree man can't guide you out of this space yet. That the answer then will guide you out of this space where you'll know his hand is touching your hand again. It's a very good thing when you can feel that. You tell me, you kind of shake your head, kind of funny, like cartoonish, and even makes that noise like the cheeks are shaking. Like like this. And you're like, oh wait, I guess I was staring off into space. How long have I been here for? That's what you're saying. It's really funny. It's so different. I snap my fingers and I say, what's the answer to the riddle? And you start to become part of the walls, part of this sap, syrup, part of what oozes, bleeds. You become part of the you that was sitting down waiting for so long. Become part of the glass pieces. You become part of the me that steps into here. You become part of everything that you've been introduced to. See, you say that this may sound strange. This is what you say, that this may sound strange. But you needed a timeout. And for some reason, you chose this place to be the timeout. You say it's not as if the walls need to stop bleeding. It's not as if you needed to not do that, break the glass with the structure of yourself or whatnot. It's not as if anything was truly wrong about this place. It was just a place that you needed to be present with until you would wake up and see that your time with this time of being present with this place was complete. And you tell me that you have to ask yourself if the time is now complete. And that you appear before yourself now, not as an empty hourglass with the flame, but just you, this inner child you, and another inner child you is in front of you saying, is it time that we return to the forest with the fall leaves or somewhere else? Instantly, you both merge and you become a really big white bird, like an eagle that is albino. It's like pure white feathers, like a white dove, and a really big bird. And it's not as if you fly, it's as if the entire space revolves around you. Your wings are open, but they're not flapping. It's you're levitating. And this entire space, instead of being a container that you're inside of, now it is within your heart. And I see you traveling what can only be space and time is the best way to describe it. That I see you traveling not by flapping your wings, but by things revolving around your heart. Reality, time revolving around your heart. That you're looking for something. I want to say that it's peace, but you already carry peace, so what else would you be seeking? It's not the tree man either. And that man looks human, but he seems to be wearing leaves, parts of tree branches. That's why I call him Tree Man with a very long beard. And all of a sudden, everything becomes white and you lose your form and you just emanate like the star, right? Light that travels the distance. There's nothing really to know or to not know. It's just a time to be light. And that's the message. That's what I meant to share with you today. It's just a time to be light. Wow. I need a minute with that. What is the ultimate sensation of being at peace? It's just a time to be light. It's not really definable as seeking a path forward or seeking the past or seeking an answer or seeking anything at all. It's like this all-encompassing moment. It could be even an eternal moment. That was really beautiful. That was really interesting. All right. Thank you for that so very much. Thank you for sharing with us too. And for those watching, if you'd like me to take a look at anything, just ask. Ask me anything. You can look at anything. Everything's energy. You can ask me any question. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to explore with you. You can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye for now.